And the Commodore VS of Melrose starts on pole position. Peter Doolan beside him, then McCarthy, Donoher, Monaghan. Next, Mike Conway, Bill Attard, Gary Wilmington, Richard Morgan, Tim Slako, the West Australian. Followed by Shembri, Pulver, Cannon from Tasmania, and Brian Walden in the Commodore VP. 10-lap journey, the first event. And it's got to be said, the man on pole, Melrose, is something of an Amaroo Park specialist. Great shot of pit lane at Amaroo Park as we now go racing in event number 1 of round number 2 of the Amscar series. It was Melrose that got the best start. Now on board with Neil Shembri. He's got some problems. Skating off on the grass, they charge up the hill the first time, and the Sydney driver Melrose settles down a clear-cut leader. In second spot is Peter Dillman and Colin Bond. A great day for racing.
Well, it certainly is, David, but I just noticed that Shembri got wide at the start. He had an excellent start, but got forced wide onto the grass, has dropped back a few places. Now they're all safely through the loop and heading down towards the faster part of the track.
Conway's up running third. In fact, that's him on the left-hand side of your screen now. Beautifully turned out red and white machine. Michael Donoher now starts to apply some pressure to him. But Melrose is going to prove a tough man to run down inside the race distance as he now finds himself under a little bit more pressure from the man in second spot. And they whip past that nice shot located on the fence and back up the main straight for the first time at the end of the first racing lap.
That was Mike Conway actually touching the fence on the way through. He's in third spot at this stage of the game, and I'm quite impressed with the way he's going.
Melrose would be impressed with the way he's going too. Peter Dillman in car 26, the Allen's entry. Now it's on board with the veteran Gary Wilmington, who has a good view of Michael Donoher immediately ahead of him. But Melrose having no problems at the moment. Car set up perfectly. And I did mention at the top of the race call column that he's something of an Amaroo Park specialist. He's done plenty of laps around here in all sorts of cars.
Well, he has, and I think that that'll be an advantage for him here today. A lot of the people we talked to before, particularly from Western Australia, haven't been here and done that many laps around the place. Donoher now is actually putting Conway under a lot of pressure because they're both going into the one corner. There's usually not enough room for two cars through here.
Now race cam
they've made
Conway. And Donoher in the Ultra-Tune entry gets up on the inside. And a very exhilarating part of the Amaroo Park circuit for drivers and fans as they whip up the top of the hill.
Into the loop now. It's actually back to fourth gear, David, through here, and then straight away back into fifth, and it's fifth all the way now, right down to the hard left-hander at the bottom where it's back to third. This is still through in fifth, down the bottom here. Back to third. Oh, we've got McCarthy attacking now. Donoher on the outside. Switches back to the inside. He'll obviously try and position the car at the stop-go corner. This is probably the place where most of the passing gets done at Amaroo Park. He's attempting an outside to switch back to the inside, but Donoher's got him covered this time.
Yeah, the outside pass is not normally conducive to safety on that corner. And this will be an interesting test for the West Australian McCarthy in car 32. Who led from start to finish in each of the 3 heats at Eastern Creek in round number 1. This time he's got to come from behind.
I noticed the other lap that Donoher just locked the front brake going over the top. It is a little bit tricky. You've got to keep the car nice and straight. Of course, it's unweighted and you put the brakes on. It is easy to lock either one of the front tyres. This time he's done it much nicer. Conway is dropping back. A bit surprised because he was looking very good initially.
Yes, he started quickly. He now runs 5th on the racetrack. In this 10-lap journey, now Gary Wilmington showing some pace. Back on board with Neil Shembri. An attempt to negotiate the Amaroo Park circuit. It's tight, it's twisty, it's challenging. Most drivers really enjoy the layout of Amaroo Park. And it's got to be said, the atmosphere here is almost second to none in national motor racing. The natural amphitheatre-style setting. Lap 5 now, we're at half race distance.
Looking at Donoher, I mean, they're all going over the top. As I said before, 5th gear, back now to 4th, straight away into 5th, and then 5th down here. Donoher seems to have a little bit of a gap these time on McCarthy, and McCarthy obviously still feeding his way around, while Mal in the meantime is actually driving away with this particular race, although Dillman is still right there, and I think could easily challenge him.
The Fairfax Community Classifieds Commodore VS of Melrose continues to lead this event. Has driven production cars to the National Championship victory, Formula Fords, and really a jack of all trades in Australian motorsport. As we now go back on board with Shembri as he heads up the main straight. You're watching round 2 of the 1997 Amscar series from Amaroo Park in Sydney as we take a break. Nice to have your company and welcome back to Amaroo Park Raceway in Sydney. And this is round 2 of the Amscar series for 1997. You're currently watching race 1 and we're on lap 7 of the 10-lap journey with Melrose leading, Peter Dillman in second. And Colin Bond. Melrose is enjoying a dream run in this event so far.
Well, he has. He's led right from the start. He got a very good start, obviously, and has now just sort of consolidated the position that he's had the whole time. Dillman hasn't let up, though. I mean, he's been pressing. He's been about the same distance. And both of these particular drivers have done, obviously, long laps around here, David, and it was always going to be close between the two of them.
Peter Dillman, a former national 2-litre touring car champion. Slako in the pink car on the right-hand side of your screen is heading a battle comprising 3 cars as they now head back onto the main straight. Pulver in the blue and yellow car had some problems at Eastern Creek in round 1. Appears to have the bugs ironed out thus far today anyway.
Gavin Monahan is actually in the white car, and he's an old Formula 4 champion, actually. I shouldn't say old, but he's done a lot of laps around here. It's his first drive in the car, and he's actually going extremely well. It's got no sponsorship at this stage of the game, and obviously Gavin's trying to hope that they will sort of get some sponsorship for the following rounds.
You see some new talent emerging in V8 touring car racing. Michael Donoher having a good time too. Ran particularly strong in the opening round and has continued on that good form this weekend. Sponsored by Ultratune. Up the top of the hill he now runs on the last lap. So not far now for Melrose to negotiate in this event.
Actually, I would have thought McCarthy would probably actually catch up to, Donoher from the performance he had in the first rounds, but obviously he's still feeling his way around the circuit. It's not an easy circuit to learn, obviously, but obviously Mel is on his way now to the win. Looks like he's followed by Dillman, and I guess we'll have to see. Donoher should be third, but we just have to wait and see.
So Rose now, just a couple of corners left to negotiate. Has spent plenty of time at this racetrack, and he looks to me to be cruising with some in reserve. Out of the final corner, he'll see the checkered flag now. So can you, as Melrose emerges the victor in race 1 of round number 2. Peter Dillman finishing in second, and then Michael Donoher getting it a little sideways on the entry to the main straight, but nonetheless getting home in third place. And Melrose would be a pretty happy guy after that. He was without luck in the opening round at Eastern Creek Raceway, and Joe Gardner is now going to catch up with him in the pits.
We knew we had a good package. The Fairfax Community Classifieds Commodore certainly. We've done some testing. We know it's right. It's a matter of getting off that start. That was the critical part. Not too much wheel spin like I did at the last race here at Eastern Creek. And we're wrapped. The crew we worked. You can imagine how hard everyone works. And this series is it's going to be a boomer for all of us.
You had Peter Dillman, car 26, next to you, and you seemed to get away from him, and that was it for you. It was all over.
Yeah, Joey, I've raced at this Amaroo Park for several years, and I've learned if you're on pole position, you just take advantage of it. Get to the top of the hill first, and that's what the main focus was, top of the hill.